Okay, so in today's video, I just want to make an AI battleship. It's basically because I want to see how good it will be, like like stopping other boats or aircraft really. So this thing's gonna be using the Intelligenta mod, which makes it really easy to make AI turrets and stuff, which is gonna be really useful. Now it's gonna fire spud guns. The cannons are, so it's just a lot easier than explosives, especially because like reloading will be impossible with an AI really. So this will have to do. Now this battleship's also gonna be relatively small. It's not gonna be like the big ones I made before. So this is mostly because, well, there's AI, there's not much need for nose space, and also so it's gonna shoot spud guns, which means no like complicated like reloading mechanism or anything. So I think it will do. Yeah. So this turret, well, it's gonna have three turrets, the whole battleship, one on the back and two on the front. Now they're not gonna be too big, and I want to get the proportions kind of right because I don't want these turrets to be really tall. So it'll kind of look a bit odd. Now, they're hopefully going to have lots of spud guns. But also, the amount of turrets is also going to help a lot hitting targets, because AI turrets won't be the most accurate since I have used them before. But anyway. So looks okay. It does need to be a bit shorter, I think. But in the long run, it'll do okay. So now I'm working on the spud guns. Now, this thing's going to have like 36 spud guns per, turret. So that's around 108 altogether, which is quite a lot, and it should do lots of damage. Especially since, well, they'll all be aiming at the same target, which should be able to do lots of damage, hopefully. Now, the turret's only a pretty simple part of it, although there will probably be some, well, problems with the recoil in the end, because there's lots of spud guns, but they're also quite far away from the point of rotation, which means it could get lots of recoil, which could be pretty bad for this thing. Now, we're just not going to really bother about that right now, and just try to get this thing to actually aim at us, and hopefully shoot as well. I don't see it now aims, which is pretty good, because just standing on top of it, of course, is going to go around in a circle. But as you'll see if we get off it, now it just aims at us, and pretty well. It's not aiming directly at us because the spud guns are, well, off center, I guess you could say. So obviously they'll go around us. But it won't matter as when we're far away, as there's more spread, and also this thing gets kind of a lot less accurate when it's further away. Now I also want to make this thing look kind of like functional, but also kind of good looking. I don't want it to look really clean, since it probably wouldn't be the best look for this. Okay, so I added a mock barrel, as you can see. Now this means it looks a lot better, and you can also tell where it's aiming a lot easier. Now I quite like it. It doesn't look really bad, but I think it looks kind of derpy or good. So now I'm making so the spud guns shoot. Now I've basically just got to hook up loads of the spud guns to logic gates to get them to actually shoot really quick. So I want this thing to shoot relatively quick. And then now I spawned 4 of these things in, and they do shoot. The only problem is recoil. Like it basically can't aim upwards to the recoil, which is a really bad thing. The recoil basically just makes it aim downwards at the ground constantly, which is pretty bad. So we need to fix this. So obviously we need to fix this. Now it's not going to be too hard, but it's also going to be a bit annoying. So my main plan was just basically add a thruster. So I was basically checking how high this thing could aim, and it basically wasn't very high. It had a massive, it's had quite a few problems. This is as high as aim, as it should be aiming higher, as it's meant to be aiming for the top of that big tower, but it's not, which is kind of a problem. So now I'm dissecting it slightly, and adding a thruster. Now this thruster is going to be really useful, but also it should make it be able to aim higher. Now as you can see, the thruster did a lot of good. As you see, it wouldn't aim up here before, but now it can. As you see, it knocked me off, which was slightly annoying, but at least it works. So now I'm actually going to work on the boat. Now I'm actually going to make the interior, the inside of the boat first out of bubble wrap. Now this is so we can just put a metal shell on it, after, and it's a lot easier than filling the bomb forever after. Now, this might have taken a long time, but it probably would have taken longer if I did the mail bit first. Now, this thing isn't going to be too big, and I was trying to make it quite a good size. Now, the problem is, if it was too big, the cannons look tiny. I think I did make it slightly too small, as the cannons looked like massive on the ship, which was pretty bad. We did have to squeeze 3 cannons onto it, which wasn't the best, but as you can see, it now floats. It's completely made out of bubble wrap, which means it, floats very well. And it should be able to handle the weight of all the metal on it. So, as you can see, there's, metal on the sides now, and I'm also adding the wooden deck in. Now, the thing about this boat is that it doesn't need to be exactly accessible for, humans, as no one is actually going to go on this boat as AI. So, yeah, we're just going to make it so, it's normal. So, yeah, this thing's going to be, it's not going to look great. There also isn't going to be any, windows or anything, because obviously it's AI. So, yeah, this thing might look a bit odd, but it won't really matter. So, I've welded on the first cam, and it looks okay. I mean, it will create a lot of recoil in the long term, and it was, getting blocked by, it's outer, trim, I say. But I just had to get rid of a few metal blocks. I also got rid of the trim after, since it was the easiest way to do it. But anyway. Now, I'm going to admit, it was, sinking down in the front because of the amount of weight, which was pretty bad, but it didn't really matter in the long term, as I balanced it out a bit with thrusters and other stuff. But it does float pretty well, which is the main thing. And it also does work, all the cannons, I'm pretty sure. It's just that, there are a few complications. Mostly recoil, as recoil is quite a big thing in here. But I did also add, this massive, block to, separate both the front cannons and the back cannon. Now, this block's not going to have much in it, except probably some thrusters, because this thing might need some thrusters stabilizing itself. Now, there's a pretty easy way to do this. I'm going to do it with, literally a bearings and sensors, and it's pretty simple way to do it. Now, it's just going to have some sensors hooked up to some, thrusters, and then it will stabilize itself. And now, as you can see, it's pretty accurate when you're close. When you're far away, going at quite a high speed, it won't really hit much. But it's just kind of bad. But as you can see, it's hitting a few shots, and we're pretty far away. So this will do. So the boat did need a few things done to it, and I did add in the stabilization system. But now it kind of moves, and it also won't move if there's something in front of it, which is quite a smart thing. So I just wanted to see how good this thing is and test it out to see just how effective it would be against the bomb thing. Although I did struggle to find things to put it against, which was kind of a bad thing. So first I tried out this big plane. Now it's made out of wood, so the boat can't actually damage it since it's only a spy gun. So you see lots of hits landing. So the thing would be destroyed if it was made out of cardboard. As the slowly get closer to the ship. Now this plane has quite a lot of bombs in it, so it's probably going to destroy it. But anyway, so I started dropping bombs, and somehow the boat didn't really hit any of them, which is quite surprising. I thought it would, but then yeah, it got hit. Now, as you can see, it didn't actually do much to the actual boat itself. It only really did some damage to it to the side. But anyway, now I've got this little cardboard boat. Now it's not massive, but you can see that it's doing quite a lot of damage, and we're not even that close. It's definitely yeah, it's not the most accurate. As you can see, spuds flying everywhere. It's pretty good. Now it's not the best either, the battleship, but it was a pretty good piece of work as well. The problem with this is that it's actually just heading at me face on, which is a big problem, as I did weld it, because ocean physics can get a bit water physics can get a bit odd in Scrap Mechanic, and it makes the game lag a lot. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Now, my next video is going to be a bit different, since I've noticed my content gets quite repetitive as I find something to do and I do it loads, which is kind of like a bad, well, thing to do. So yeah, I decided I'm probably gonna try and like probably do more in a showcase and actually show you how I build stuff. Since it probably will show less technical stuff, but also we could just mess around with it. So it'd be quite fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed and bye.